From my head to my toes, I am covered with the fire of God,
with an A
burning
line
me
and a slit at the front.
everywhere.
So if you find
From my
this tutorial
spirit
helpful, give
to
it a
my
thumbs up and
soul,
don't
I
forget to
am
subscribe to the
filled
channel.
with the glory.
Alright, so without wasting much time, let's dive into the tutorials. So I'm going to impute half of my shoulder measurement on this starting line, which is about 7.5 inches. Then the neck width we are using for this project is 2.5. We don't want it too wide. Then the neck depth we're using is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and curve. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to impute my shoulder slope. So I'm going to be using my pen to do that because it's not going to be permanent. So after that, the next thing is to get half of my shoulder, my armhole measurement, which is about 7.5 inches. From here, I'm going to take half of my shoulder measurement, which is here. So this line is, this point is supposed to be here. Then my bust circumference divided by 4. I'm going to insert the line here. Then I'm going to go ahead and join the points together. So once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my armhole curve. So I'm going to get half of this. So from there, I'm going to come in here by 1 inch in order to get a very nice curve. So we're going to do that later. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to get half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is about 3.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 3.5 inches over here. Then on my under bust point measurement, I'm going to reduce it by ½ inch. So I'm going to mark 3 inches here. Then the waist length is 3 inches. Okay, so this is my bust line, this is my under bust line, and this is my waist line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect this. Then from here, I'm going to mark 2 inches for my dart leg. This is 2 inches. Then I'm going to also connect. Then from here, I'm coming down by ½ inch in order to get a nice curve. So once we are done, the next thing I'm going to do is to take this up by 1 inch, okay, in order to get a perfect armhole curve. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a nice curve here. So this is where we have the midpoint. So from this midpoint, I'm going to come down by 1 inch and make another curve connecting to my bust point. Then we are going to extend it by 1 inch. Alright, so this is it. Alright, so at this point we need to impute our neck band, and to do that we'll be using total of 1.5 inches starting from the neck depth of our already existing neckline. So I'll be marking 1.5 inches all the way down to the shoulder, as you can see. So as soon as I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my curve ruler and connect the lines together in order to get a perfect shape. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my measurement. Okay, so my bust circumference divided by 4, I have 9.25 inches. Then my waist circumference divided by 4, I have 8 inches, and I'm going to replace these 2 inches to this point. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a curve, but before then I'm going to transfer whatsoever I have here. What I have here is half an inch, so I'm going to extend this by half an inch. Then I'm going to reconnect the armhole, though it's not going to be the permanent armhole, so I'm going to use this. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to connect these points together. So in order to have a nice curve here, because we're going to be curving this, imputing the armhole, we need to close up this part, and in order to close up this part, we need to cut out what we have. Then I forgot to take this up to the shoulder line. All right, so let me go ahead and cut out what we have. Then at this point, I'm going to close up this. Okay, so at this point, you can determine how wide you want your neckline to be. So from here, I'm coming down by 2.5 inches. This is 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to connect to the armhole. Then of course it's going to have a band that is about 1.5 inches, or you can make it 2 inches. So I'm going to get the band. This is 1.5 inches. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out this neckline and also cut out the band. Then for this armhole area, I'm just going to start cutting from here. I'm going to leave the band and trace it on another pattern paper. Alright, so after cutting it out, this is what I have. Then I'm going to place this here. Then use my tracing wheel to transfer whatsoever I have. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out what we have, then I'll get back to you. Alright, so after cutting it out, this is what we have. So I'm going to free this. Alright, so for our back bodies, I have my shoulder line. I have the chest line, which is my armhole depth, okay? Then I have my half length. So I'm going to impute my shoulder measurements divided by 2 inches, by 2 rather. So this is what we have. Then the neck width we used for the front is 2.5, and we're definitely using it for the back. Then here we are using total of 1 inch for the back depth. Then from here I'm coming down here by 1 inch. Then on this chest line I'm going to get my shoulder measurement, half of my shoulder measurement, and I'm going to go ahead and connect. Then on this part I'm also going to take my bust circumference divided by 4. Then I'm going to make a curve. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my waist measurement divided by 4. Waist circumference divided by 4 is 8 inches. Then we are using 1 inch for our that. So I'm going to impute the 1 inch for our that. Then in order to make this zipper to relax more, we are going to take in 1 inch from this end, and we are also going to be replacing that 1 inch over here. So I'm going to take this 1 inch over to my chest line. So I'm going to reinsert the zipper allowance. So we are making use of 1 inches for our zipper allowance. As you can see, we added 1 inch all the way here. So I'm going to reinsert the 1 inch here and connect back to this 1 inch. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and connect this line together. Then for our darts, we are going to make use of 4 inches. Then I'm going to take it up by 9 inches. Then half an inch on both sides. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is to style the back neckline. So to do that, we are going to impute 1.5 inches just like we did to the front. This is 1.5 inches. Then we are going to connect the points together. Alright, so from here you can just come down here by 2 inches and connect to the armhole. So from there, for the band, you can make use of 1.5 inches just like we did. This is 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out what we have. I'm not going to cut out the band just like the first one, but I'm going to draft it on another pattern. Okay, then I'll cut out the front, the neckline. So after cutting out the back pattern, this is what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and place this here, and I'm going to use my tracing wheel to draft out the band. Alright, so after cutting out the band, this is what we have for the back. And so the next thing I'm going to do now is to get the band for the front and for the back and join together. Okay, endeavor to label yours. I would have joined this wrong end together, but I had to label it. Then I also notched the area where I'll be joining from. As you can see, let me make it very bold. So this is going to be joined from here. Okay, so the same thing with the front bodies. So I'm going to join the two shoulders together. Okay, so this is the zipper area and this is the shoulder area. This is the center front and this is the zipper area. So I'm going to join it this way, and I'm going to tape these two ends together in order to give me half of my neck area. So I've gone ahead to tape. So after joining, this is what we have. So the next thing you should do is to retake your neck measurements.
All right, so at this point, your neck circumference should be corresponding with what you have on your pattern. If not, just try your best to adjust it either by increasing the pattern or decreasing the circumference of the pattern. All right, so that's it for these tutorials. If you find it interesting, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll be uploading the part 2 of this video, which is the down part and the sewing tutorial. So if you are interested, just keep watching. Bye.